Napoleon seizes power. The Brumaire Coup.
If you want to go see bonus and extended content, go over to our Patreon. You can get full TV reactions over there, and we've got more coming over there, so definitely check it out. And if you're enjoying this video, like, comment, subscribe. But we're going to jump straight into this one.
Hoorah.
Fucking this intro. Oh, it's music to my ears. We're back. We need Bonaparte.
Yeah, we do. Miss you.
October
Yeah, we've missed it
1799.
a lot. And we've missed Epic History TV. It's been a minute.
After
Love the
500
artwork.
days campaigning in Egypt and
Voice.
Syria,
Oh, God.
Napoleon has returned to
500
France.
days, and now he's returned to France. Okay.
And with a small entourage, he travels north to Paris.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he does.
Look,
Everywhere he
support him
goes,
every
he is
step of the way.
greeted by crowds,
Every car.
embraced by
wagon,
dignitaries, and
of the way.
feted as a
Oh, fuck.
conquering
Sorry,
hero.
guys.
But such
why we
celebrations
did it.
cannot hide that France is a country in crisis and despair. Banditry is
If you haven't seen that roast, go over to it, please. We're really, really proud of it, and we need that video. Just go show us some love on something that isn't a history reaction, if you're willing to, and go check out that Lazy Daze roast, because it's jokes.
so rife
But we'll
that
jump straight back into
Napoleon's
this. We
own
need to show that
luggage is
video.
stolen en route.
Oh.
Prices are soaring. So too
Yep.
are
Someone
taxes.
nicked his showcase.
Trade has been
Oh,
decimated by years of war and blockade.
Jesus.
There is conscription, censorship, and corruption.
Do you think conscription is one of the things that will take power away from, well, will make the populace hate the power more? Because when you're forcing people to be a part of the military and they don't have a national pride and willing to join the military, don't you think you've gone wrong somewhere?
I would like to argue
Mm-hmm.
that there could be a possibility of they kind of
I'm not saying it is the
case.
case, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's something to think about. Do you know what I mean? And I'm wondering, and this is to you guys in the watching this as well. Do you think what I've said has any validity? Do you think it's true? Do you think that once a government starts to conscript their people and it becomes not a national pride to join the military, and you're getting forced to, that it becomes a bit of a problem? It's a question more than anything, you know.
I guess, but you live where you live. You've got to defend your own home, right? Surely.
So that's what I'm saying. You would think so.
Yeah.
But once people are not willing to do that and they have to get conscripted, have you lost? Have you really lost? That's what I'm wondering.
No. Because what would you consider national service then?
I would agree that it's conscription and joining the military. And like me and you, if conscription come about, people like me and you would probably join the forces. You know what I mean? Because if it come to it, and the worst comes to the worst, because we're proud to be English and to fight for what we want to fight for. But I'm saying that once your people aren't willing to fight what you fight for, you've lost. And that's when people don't like conscription, because a lot of the time conscription, people get turned off. At some point, people get turned off with conscription. Sometimes it's useful, but sometimes it's too much. Look at, obviously, you go to World War II and you look at, obviously, Britain. The conscription was mandatory there, but people wanted to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an issue. But like with Russia, and at the moment when they enforced conscription, there was a bit of a problem. The people didn't want to do it. So obviously, when that's my argument. If the people aren't willing to do the conscription, it becomes an issue. Have you really lost at that point? Is that the real turning point? Is something I was wondering. But that was a long-winded thing. Let's jump back into the video.
Abroad, France once more faces a powerful coalition of enemies.
Always
Although
had to
General
deal with more than one
Massena's
enemy
brilliant
at this
victory
point
at
in
Zurich
history.
has won respite, France is not safe yet.
How is no
But in
Napoleon gonna come
Bonaparte,
in
many
and
see a
save her?
saviour for the country. Thanks to his own propaganda, everyone has heard of his brilliant victories in Italy and Egypt. His name is celebrated in newspapers and plays. The air rings with cries of, "Hurrah for Bonaparte! He will save the country."
Okay.
not everyone is thrilled by the general's return. At the very top of French government, some wonder if Bonaparte should not be court-martialed for abandoning his army in Egypt. And now...
I don't know, maybe if he secured victory and then he left, I don't know.
Yeah.
He'd get away with that.
But you got to consider it. It's definitely got to come into consideration.
Yeah, okay.
You know, you have to have the conversation.
flouting France's quarantine laws. However, Napoleon does now have a letter from the Directory ordering his return to France,
Ooh.
though he acted before receiving it.
Okay.
There's also concern that a move against such a hugely popular general could easily backfire.
Yep.
For his part, Napoleon regards the government with contempt, a sentiment he's happy to share in private. Over breakfast, he tells General Thibault, "These men are bringing France down to the level of their own blundering. They are degrading her." Well, what can generals expect from this government of lawyers? To Napoleon, it's self-evident that he would do a better job, given all his glorious achievements in Italy and Egypt.
Okay. Interesting.
Since 1795, France has been ruled by the Directory, a 5-man executive whose members hold power for 5 years. In 1799, its members are Paul Barras, Napoleon's first patron, infamously
Interesting.
corrupt and dissolute, but a shrewd political operator.
But is that corruptness going to come back and bite him in the
He has
arse?
been a permanent member of the Directory since its formation.
Okay.
Emmanuel Joseph Seyss, a former priest who wrote the Revolution's most famous political pamphlet, now regarded as the leading political thinker in France. Then 3 staunch Republicans, appointed to the Directory just 4 months ago, under outside pressure.
'Cause there was
Louis
no
Goyer,
counter-argument,
a veteran Jacobin
I assume.
and former minister in the National Convention.
Okay.
Jean-François Moulin, a Jacobin general who had commanded in
All right, look, I just want to say, Epic History, you do a fantastic job on your visuals. Like, the way that moulded in from the candlelight to the background was incredible. However, French names said like that will always make me laugh inside, because that was brilliant.
He pronounces them
You do
so well.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Play it back, because it's just such a, it's a fluent, it's so
It's
flowed.
so
It's such a
fluid.
good flow.
Just before that, I'm going to insert clip of Jack pronouncing the video tile.
Brumaire.
veteran Jacobin and former minister in the National Convention. Jean-François Moulin, a Jacobin general who had commanded in the bloody war in the Vendée. And Pierre-Roger Ducos, a more moderate figure and ally of Seyss.
Seyss, one of the other 2, I'm
The
assuming.
other major element of government,
Yes, the second one.
legislature, is comprised of the Council of 500, who draft laws, and the Council of Elders, who approve them. Members of both councils dress in extravagant costumes, inspired by their great model, to which they
Roman?
refer constantly,
Yeah, the Roman
the ancient Republic of Rome. This government, the Directory in particular, is now widely regarded as corrupt, ineffective, and unfit to survive. And powerful men on the inside will play a leading role in its destruction.
Okay. How so? How is Napoleon going to manipulate and like fucking play this chess game? I'm quite interested. This seems a bit more political, a bit more Game of Thronesy. I kind of like it. I returned to France at the fortune moment when the existing government was so bad it could not continue. Napoleon on St. Helena.
On his return to Paris, Napoleon takes up residence in the home of the Beauharnais family on
It's all right. I'll just insert a cock in your mouth when you're doing that.
I mean,
Rue de la Victoire,
so don't worry.
It can be blood.
which has been renamed in his
Or it
own
could just be
honour.
a Febreze.
Given the unsettled political climate, he faces an uncertain and potentially dangerous few months in the capital.
I love this. I love it.
One man he can
Yeah, man,
count
it's
on as a
very Game of
valuable
Thrones.
guide, his younger brother, Lucien. He serves in the Council of 500 as the deputy for Corsica, and has recently been elected its president.
Ooh.
As such, he will be a key player in the weeks ahead.
Okay.
But first comes a stormy reunion with his wife, Josephine, which quickly gives way to a passionate rapprochement. Both have been
That French word got me. That French word got me.
guilty of infidelities, but Napoleon is clearly
So
still
they
in
both just had a
love.
high sex drive.
And his earlier talk of divorce is quietly
I
forgotten.
mean, like,
I get
it's
it,
so
I get it.
it is so bad, but I
They
don't
rekindled
agree
their
with
love.
cheating.
No,
but
cheating's
back
disgusting.
then,
It's
but
wrong.
back then, when you're
Bro,
away
it's not
for 10
a
to
2-hour drive to like Southampton or something. is
you're
it?
away for years at a time.
It's a month and a
sometimes.
half wagon ride just to get there.
And brother, if you're on mission and
that's
you're
tough.
out there for a year or two,
Yeah,
like
and she doesn't know that you're dead.
I would be Eddard Stark, but I don't know about you.
Henceforth, Josephine will prove a faithful wife,
Nice.
and through her social connections, an important political ally.
Okay, nice.
I wonder if that's the reason he kept her.
What? Just because of the
Paris
the-
is
literally because of
awash
that.
with
Could be.
talk of plots and conspiracies.
Would be interesting. That'd be a good play for him.
Rumours of threats from the left, ex-Jacobins, who oversaw the bloody days of the Terror. And from the right, secret royalists who want to turn back the clock.
It's all just chaos.
And there are those who seek a third option. Soon after his arrival in Paris, Napoleon receives a visit from France's ex-foreign minister, Maurice de Talleyrand.
Okay. Talleyrand. Remember that name?
Mm-hmm.
History Civilis. When after Napoleon fall, you had the great powers having the meetings, and the Russian Tsar at the time weren't communicating, would just come in and be like, I want this, and then go party.
Yeah.
And that whole video. Talleyrand was the guy who done all of the communications for France, and obviously he done some of the backstabbing stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well remembered.
yeah, brother.
Talleyrand, a keen
I can't
observer
like
of
you.
which way the political wind was blowing, had resigned from the government in July. Having worked with Napoleon in planning the Egyptian expedition, he now proposes they collaborate on another plan to replace the government of France.
Yep. Well, we know
Napoleon,
what happens.
disgusted
but
by
let's-
the current
we know
regime,
the
immediately
result. Let's see
welcomes
how
the
it
idea.
happens.
Talleyrand then reveals that a member
No, Jack. No.
of the Directory itself is working to
Rebellion
bring
is
down
not
the
an
regime.
option here.
Sayas, the country's leading political thinker, has decided that the Directory must be cast aside and that France must have a new constitution, which he intends to write.
Ooh, okay.
He plans to sweep away the chaotic, unruly legislature and its weak, ineffectual executive. To save the Republic, radical reforms are needed, and an entirely new form of government.
Doesn't realise that he lays this government out just so that Napoleon can fucking tear it down again.
Sayas already has the support of another director, Roger Ducos, and the president of the Council of Elders, Louis-Nicolas Lemercier.
Okay.
He even has the support of the president of the Council of 500, Lucien Bonaparte. Minister of Police, Joseph Fouché, who has eyes and ears
I
across
recognise that
Paris, is also aware of their conspiracy. but has agreed not to intervene.
Very nice.
Now, Sayes seeks a sword, as he puts it, a military figurehead to keep the army on.
I think Fouché was mentioned. I don't know if he was for some reason I have a feeling he was one of Napoleon's marshals, but I think I'm wrong at the same time.
And be wielded at the decisive moment, and then sheathed afterwards.
Sheathed
But
afterwards.
such a man is proving difficult to find. Sayes' first choice had been General Joubert, Napoleon's talented subordinate at Rivoli. But he'd been killed earlier that year, shot dead at the Battle of Norvy in northern Italy.
So unfortunate.
General MacDonald is sounded out,
Yeah.
but is too much the honest Republican for such skullduggery.
Yeah.
Skullduggery.
General Moreau, who has led the Army of the Rhine with great success, declines the role. In a moment he will later regret. He recommends Bonaparte.
I remember
There's
that
your man. He will make a
Marshall
better
videos.
job of your coup d'etat than I could. Sayes does not like Napoleon. His ambition is too obvious. It is Talleyrand who persuades Sayes that they have found their sword.
I bet Talleyrand
On the
regrets
23rd
that
of
later
October,
on.
Napoleon and Sayes meet for the first time. They agree that the Republic is in grave peril, from enemies within and without, and that the Directory cannot meet the challenge. Within a week, they agree to launch a coup to overthrow the government of
1
France.
week. Okay. How are you going to do it, boys? Let's get into it. The pear is ripe.
The conspirators plan their coup for the 7th of November, 16th Brumaire, according to France's revolutionary calendar. The month of fog.
Interesting.
It's a risky operation that will take 2 days, during which any number of things could go wrong.
They just reject
Many
it
of the
at
plotters
end.
take precautions. Sayes carries a briefcase stuffed with cash for a quick getaway. Fouché, the Minister of Police, has drafted orders for Napoleon's arrest in case he needs to switch sides.
Oh! The snake! The fucking snake!
My guy's just running around with a bag full of cash ready to bunk shit anytime. Next man, nah bruv, I've got a warrant ready in case I need to jump. What a dickhead.
I see you. You haven't liked the video yet. Why not? Go on. Go like it. While you're at it, you know you want to subscribe. And if you want to go to our social medias, all the links you need are in the description box down below. And you might as well head over to our Patreon as well, where you can get extra bonus content if you're enjoying this. That link's in the description box down below. But we'll get straight back into the video. Love you guys.
Napoleon sleeps with 2 loaded pistols by his bed.
Yeah, man. Ready for that action.
Gun
At the
fingers.
last minute, there's a 48-hour
Just stays
postponement.
ready on fucking heat.
Okay, why?
So instead, that night, Bonaparte dines at General Bernadotte's apartment
Okay,
on the
no,
Rue de
Bernadotte.
Cisalpine.
Ooh.
They are joined by Generals Moreau and Jourdan. He wants the support of these influential generals for his
Yep.
coup. Moreau agrees to help. Jourdan promises not to interfere,
Neutral.
Nice.
but Bernadotte is outraged and warns Napoleon that he'll be guillotined.
Ooh.
We'll see, says Napoleon.
I'm not gonna lie, that would be me to you. Yeah, whatever, Jack. We'll see. I'm going. Once I've made my mind, I've made my mind up.
No, I think that's me with these so-called cases you think I'm catching. Any cougars? Let me know.
So today's the day for clearing out the rubbish dump.
Oh. Conversation between soldiers
9th of
overheard
November,
by police.
Paris.
Shit.
Oh, here we
In the
go.
crisp
Here we
hours
go.
before dawn, Napoleon meets around 60 officers that he's invited to his house. He informs them that he's decided he must act to save the Republic and asks for their support.
Okay.
They affirm their loyalty with oaths of allegiance. The most important man to convince is General Lefebvre, the no-nonsense military commander of Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Napoleon knows his man. He presents Lefebvre with the sword he wore at the Battle of the Pyramids as a mark of his great esteem.
Okay.
And the general is won over.
Very smart.
Let's go throw those bloody lawyers in the river, he growls.
My God.
Yeah, man.
My
The
God.
Council of Elders meets in an unscheduled early session at the Tuileries Palace.
Okay.
Only Sayes's allies have been invited, so without opposition, they quickly passed 2 measures.
Oh.
First, Napoleon is to be given immediate command of the Paris military district, using the pretext of a non-existent Jacobin plot.
Okay.
Right.
Second, tomorrow the legislature will move from its usual meeting place in the center of Paris to the Chateau de Saint-Cloud, 5 miles west outside the city.
Okay.
That's where the
This,
royals used
the
to live,
plotters
right?
tell the council, is for their own safety. The Paris mob is famed for its unpredictable and violent political interventions. The move is, of course, to protect the conspirators themselves from such an event.
See, smart boys.
At 10 a.m., Napoleon arrives at the Tuileries. He speaks to the Council of Elders, reassures them that the trusted generals Lefebvre and Berthier are by his side, and concludes, "We want a republic founded upon true liberty, on civil liberty, on national representation. We will have it. I swear it." Meanwhile, that morning at the Luxembourg Palace, where the 5 directors reside, Sayes and Roger Ducos announce their resignation and urge Barras, Goyer, and Moulin to follow suit.
Interesting.
Barras
so
decides to-
because Sias is in there,
Yeah,
he's trying to.
His boss is with him.
Yeah. He's trying to convince him to do it before it gets like.
Take a long bath and
Bad.
will not be disturbed. Perhaps he is mulling his options, or waiting for an offer.
Interesting.
When it comes, it is from Talleyrand, the man who perhaps understands him best. With the help of an enormous bribe and the reassurance that he will keep all his estates, Barras agrees to resign.
Nice.
France's
Okay.
longest-serving
Yeah, that was nice,
director and once formidable power broker quietly leaves the stage. He is driven to his country house that evening under military escort. Goyer and Moulin are not so easily persuaded,
Okay.
and so they are placed under house arrest by General Moreau.
Shit.
Their objections are futile. With the resignation of 3 directors, the executive is constitutionally defunct. The conspirators have what they want, a power vacuum, to which they will propose a solution the next day at Chateau de Saint-Cloud.
Okay.
It will be a day on which the future of France hinges. That evening, as Napoleon rides through the Place de la Concorde, where so many had died under the guillotine, he turns to his secretary. "Tomorrow," he says, "either we will sleep at the Luxembourg, or we'll end up here."
I bet his secretary was shitting bricks.
Yeah, brother. I'm carrying a pistol on me at all times
Mate,
to pop
if I'm his
myself.
secretary, I'm packing heat.
Yeah,
you
man.
are coming at me with everything.
Citizen representatives, the circumstances in which you find yourselves are not ordinary. You are not a
You are
volcano.
on a
volcano. You are on a volcano. Day 2 of the coup. Let's go.
Napoleon rises at 4 a.m. and rides to Saint-Cloud. There he meets Murat, newly promoted to General of Division,
Okay.
whose 6,000 troops surround the chateau.
Nice. Nice.
Officially, they're there to guard the council members. But as deputies arrive for the day's session, the heavy military presence is impossible to miss. There are long delays. Benches have to be found for the chambers.
Interesting.
Council members have time to mingle and discuss the many swirling rumours.
Problems. You needed to start this quickly.
Time, the Jacobin deputies are present, and they're not happy at being excluded from the previous day's meeting. When the councils finally begin their sessions at 1 p.m, the mood is raucous. The sudden resignation of the directors, the presence of so many troops, the claims of a Jacobin plot. There is much to discuss. The plotters had hoped for a quick vote to establish a new provisional government. But the presidents of both councils struggle to take charge. Hours pass. Napoleon loses patience.
Ooh, not good. It's 4
At 4
o'clock.
p.m, he bursts into the Council of Elders. As he begins to speak, he is heckled and derided.
Okay.
Napoleon is thrown off balance. He rambles, mutters, then hesitates.
Not good. Not good at all. Like, just... he's just fumbling here.
When a deputy interrupts, "What of the Constitution?" Napoleon flings back, "The Constitution? You yourselves annihilated it." There is uproar. Napoleon continues, demanding action from the council. Anyone who speaks against him, he strongly implies, has been paid by the British. To any such deputy, he warns, "May the lightning of war crush him instantaneously." Remember,
He is just chucking fuel onto this fire, right?
Well, he wants it gone.
Yeah, he just doesn't care. This is really risky. This is really risky.
that I walk accompanied by the god of war and by the god of fortune. These ill-chosen words seem to confirm the Assembly's very worst
Yeah,
suspicions.
you got a god complex.
By some accounts, Napoleon has to be dragged from the chamber by his staff, shouting, "You are scoundrels! I will have you shot if you don't obey me."
That is the most fascist dictatorship thing I've ever
Napoleon
heard.
is shaken, but not defeated.
Okay. How is he going to spin his...
Within minutes, he
his way out of
storms
this?
down the corridor into the Council of 500, where the president, his brother, has lost all semblance of control.
Shit.
The mood here is of even greater defiance. The deputies have spent the morning swearing oaths of loyalty to the Constitution. And when Napoleon arrives, flanked by grenadiers, he receives a torrent of abuse.
Ooh, shit.
"Down with the tyrant," they cry. "Outlaw! Caesar! Cromwell!" These the names of
Caesar.
famous generals turned tyrant.
Shit.
As the crowd presses in, he is grabbed, jostled, even punched. Lefebvre and his grenadiers rush in to extricate Napoleon from the scuffle. They
How
haul
does he
him
get
clear
power?
and drag him into the courtyard outside.
Like, for most stories and most things that we would watch and listen to, we'd be like, well, this is the end for him. He's lost his people, he's fucked it up, like he's dealt his hand and he's lost. Do you get what I'm saying? But we know the ending, so how is he going
Is
to
it
get...
bad that I can imagine him at one part just annihilating?
I think he's going to shoot all of them.
Yeah.
I have
In
this...
the back of my mind, I'm thinking, he's just going to execute every one of them.
he's about to get dragged out to the courtyard and go in there and end it all. I'm done. I'm fed up with this bullshit. Get it done. Okay, what did he say?
What happens?
Since they've made you an outlaw, make them outlaws yourself. Sears to Napoleon.
Napoleon is rattled, bloodied. He seems unsure what to do.
Okay.
His old comrade, General Augereau, now a council member, comes out to see him. "You're in deep water now," Augereau tells him.
Yep.
Napoleon regains his composure. "It was worse at Arcalay." Nevertheless, the coup totters on the brink of disaster. If the council declares Napoleon an outlaw, it could mean a firing squad or a swift trip to the guillotine. But the riotous disorder has played into his hands. He is the military commander of Paris. When he hears Jacobin deputies are keeping his brother Lucien in the chamber against his will, grenadiers are sent to bring him out. Napoleon attempts to rally troops for a decisive intervention.
Here we go, Jack. He's going to shoot them all.
News of his manhandling by the deputies outrages his old comrades. They are raring to go.
I don't think he's going to shoot them all.
I love it.
But most of them are going to die.
I love it. They were just like, wait, someone fucked you up? Get me in that fucking house.
Yeah, literally.
But the Legislative Guard, the 400 troops charged with protecting the council, are not convinced.
Interesting.
Going for the windows.
What happens? Who's come out?
It is Lucien who seizes the moment. He mounts a horse and announces, "Citizens, soldiers, the great majority of the council is at this moment being terrorized by a handful of deputies armed with daggers. These brigands are doubtless in English pay. I declare to you that these madmen have made themselves outlaws by their assaults upon the liberty of this council."
There was more than one person involved in this coup, Jack. Napoleon didn't have to do it himself.
He draws a sword and points it at Napoleon's chest. "I swear that I will stab my own brother to the heart if he ever makes an assault on the liberty of Frenchmen." The doubters are won over. A signal is given. With bayonets fixed, troops flood into the Council of 500, with General Murat at their head.
Oh, okay.
"Citizens, you are dissolved," he shouts. And then to his men, "Get this damn rabble out of here." The deputies scatter.
No one's dead yet.
By some accounts, they jump out of windows, leaving their robes and hats strewn across the gardens.
Yeah. I would have got...
Bottom left are fucked.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? Why have you not ran?
They're fucked. They're prisoners of war now.
Oh, that fucking door.
Yeah.
Certainly, the conspirators had hoped to avoid the use of troops. But it had always been a backup plan.
Yeah.
One that turned out to be desperately needed.
Well done. Well done.
The artwork is amazing. Beautiful.
Later that evening, a few deputies are rounded up to form a rump council of 500.
Oh, so they left a few to round.
Joined by the similarly cowed Council of Elders, they approve the measures that are suggested to them. The dissolution of the Directory. The adjournment of both councils for 4 months, though they will never meet again. And the appointment of 3 provisional consuls, a term borrowed from the Roman Republic.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Joseph Sayes, Pierre Roger Ducos, and General Napoleon Bonaparte. 3 years, 8 months since he took command of the army of Italy. Napoleon has risen to the summit of political power in France.
Goddamn.
God damn indeed.
He will now be one of 3 men in charge of drafting a new constitution for the Republic. But through his brilliant...
Your intrusive thoughts fuck us up, Jack.
You're gonna have to blur it.
No, I'm keeping it in. You're W2S at this point. Like, it's your intrusive thoughts. They just come out, innit? Like,
the fuck do you expect me to do, bro?
Energy and immense popularity.
Sorry, there's a fly up there.
Fuck's sake. We're going to hell. If it exists. Fuck's sake. I hope the fucking cell we have is nice. I've got top bunk, okay? If you get me in there, I've got top bunk.
Fuck off.
If you're the reason we're in there, I've got top bunk.
Absolutely not.
He will soon overshadow his 2 colleagues.
Fight for it.
Only one man will emerge to rule France. The first consul, Napoleon Bonaparte.
So clean.
And what better way to cement his hold on power than a new military campaign? And a return to Italy.
So much to do still for that man.
Do you want to see our newest and most visually spectacular video? Right now, without ads. The Battle of Cape St. Vincent was a key naval clash of the French Revolutionary War. The battle that made Nelson famous.
Ooh.
And we're telling its story with the help of 3D graphics and Unreal Engine. Nebula subscribers can watch it right now and know their subscription is helping to support our work.
Hey.
Nebula is a
Yo, if you haven't already, go sign up to their Nebula account. That looks like an amazing video for sure. I'm assuming that eventually it will come onto YouTube, and I think if it does, we're definitely going to react to it because that looked very good visually, and of course we love the narrator over on Epic History. Yeah, man. If you haven't already, go over to their channel. That link's in the description box down below. And of course, if you enjoyed our reaction, you want to go see more and extended versions of this and also TV shows, go over to our Patreon. That link's in the description box down below. We're trying to do as much as we can to get that up and to get that more bonus. Whatever. Like this one, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next video.